Valencia delivery, Nostra Air 1082. Information Hotel, request IFR to Barajas.
Air Nostrum 1082, Information Hotel is correct. Clear to Barajas via descent 8 Golf, departure runway 12. Initial climb to 6000. Departure on 118.8, squawk 5532.
Clear to Barajas via descent 8 Golf, departure runway 12, initial climb to 6000. Departure on 118.8, squawk 5532, Nostra Air 1082.
Air Nostrum 1082, read back correct. Ground is on 121.88, safe flight, sir.
Luis, el embarque ha comenzado y los primeros pasajeros ya están a bordo. Bienvenidos
Gracias,
a bordo
Alejandro.
del vuelo 1082 de Air Nostrum. Mi nombre es Alejandro El Hombros y Paellas y Haciendas, y estoy aquí con mis colegas Marta, Javier y Lucía. Nos dirigimos a Barajas. Por favor, tomen asiento según sus tarjetas de embarque y guarden su equipaje de mano en los compartimentos superiores o debajo de los asientos frente a ustedes. Si necesitan ayuda, no duden en contactar a la tripulación. ¡Gracias! Bienvenidos a bordo del vuelo 1082 de Air Nostrum. Mi nombre es Alejandro El Hombros y Paellas y Haciendas García de la Torre y Pérez del Campo Rodríguez de Arrieta, alcalde municipal del Real Madrid. Estamos encantados de tenerlos con nosotros hoy. Nos dirigimos a Barajas y el tiempo estimado de vuelo es de 33 minutos. Por favor, asegúrense de que sus cinturones de seguridad estén abrochados y que su equipaje de mano esté guardado en los compartimentos superiores o debajo de los asientos. Gracias.
Pre-start check.
Stand by. Fuel quantity
Set and check.
7655 pounds. Confirmed. Cabin signs.
Set and check.
Pressurization.
Set and check.
Altimeters.
Set and checked.
1009. Set right and cross checked. Flight instruments.
Set and checked.
Set right. Oxygen flow.
Set and checked.
Checked right. FMS.
Set and checked.
Radios.
Set and checked.
Set right. Takeoff brief.
Complete.
Pre-start check complete.
Valencia ground, buenas tardes. Air Nostrum 1082 requesting push and start. Buenas tardes, Valencia ground. Air Nostrum 1082 requesting push and start.
Air Nostrum 1082, push and start approved. Face northwest.
Push and start approved, face northwest. Air Nostrum 1082. Alejandro, todos amarrados, por favor. Estamos a punto de salir.
Entendido, capitán. Cabin crew, take seats for departure.
Short checks completed. Bypass pinning setting. Locking gear. Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1.
Luis, la cabina está lista para la salida.
Gracias, Alejandro.
Bienvenidos a bordo del vuelo 1082 de Air Nostrum. Mi nombre es Alejandro El Hombros y Paellas y Haciendas García de la Torre y Pérez del Campo Rodríguez de Arrieta, alcalde municipal del Real Madrid. Estamos encantados de tenerlos con nosotros
Engine 1
hoy.
start complete.
Nos dirigimos a Barajas y el tiempo estimado de vuelo es de 33
Start
minutos.
engine 2.
Por favor, presten
Start
atención a
engine 2.
nuestra demostración de seguridad. Para abrocharse el cinturón de seguridad, simplemente inserten la hebilla en la parte opuesta y tiren de la correa para ajustarlo. Para desabrocharlo, presionen el botón en la hebilla. En caso de que se necesiten las mascarillas de oxígeno, estas se desplegarán automáticamente. Colóquenla sobre la nariz y la boca y ajusten la cinta detrás de la cabeza. Recuerden que primero deben colocarse la mascarilla a ustedes mismos antes de ayudar a otros. En caso de una evacuación, por favor dejen su equipaje en el avión. Las salidas de emergencia en este CRJ-1000 están ubicadas en la parte delantera y trasera de la cabina. Para llegar hasta ellas, sigan las luces de emergencia que se encuentran en el suelo. Además, en caso de que se necesiten los chalecos salvavidas, estos están debajo de sus asientos. Para usarlos, sáquenlos, colóquenlos sobre la cabeza y ajusten las lucecitas alrededor de la cintura. Gracias por su atención. Ahora, por favor, asegúrense de que sus cinturones de seguridad estén abrochados y que su equipaje de mano esté guardado en los compartimentos superiores o debajo de los asientos. Gracias.
Cockpit to ground, good start confirmed, please disconnect.
Place it firmly over your mouth and nose and secure the elastic strap over your head. Then assist others. Oxygen masks are also provided in lavatories.
Pushback and
For
engine
your
start
safety,
approved.
passengers are not
Disconnect
allowed
when
to
ready.
congregate in groups around the lavatories. When instructed to do so, please take the life vest, which
Disconnected,
is under
thank
your
you.
seat. Place the life vest over your head, place the strap around your body, attach the end into the buckle at the front and pull the strap tight. Pull the red handles to
Air
inflate the
Nostrum
life vest only after
1082,
leaving the
pushback
aircraft to the
complete.
emergency
Contact
exits.
ground for
The
taxi
life vest
clearance
has
when
two
ready.
valves to inflate or release air pressure. The signal lamp lights up
Copy
on
Air
contact
Nostrum
with
102.
water. At this time, please take a view at the safety card in front of you. Here you find further important information. Furthermore, you have to comply with ordnance signs and crew member instructions. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or the lavatories. Cabin lights will now be turned off. For takeoff, if you need a reading light, you will find it in the panel above your head. Thanks for your attention.
Pre-taxi check.
APU.
Set.
Anti-ice. Set. Electrics.
Check.
Nose steering.
Armed. Set and check.
Flaps. Flaps 8. Set.
Flaps 8 confirmed.
Flight controls.
Set and checked.
Checked right. Pre-taxi check complete.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Valencia ground, Air Nostrum 1082, request taxi to the active.
Air Nostrum 1082, pushback and engine start approved. Disconnect when ready.
Air Nostrum 1082, requesting taxi to the active.
Air Nostrum 1082, taxi to runway 12 via Whiskey 1, Whiskey 2, Get the Bravo, November 2, November 3, November Kogi, Hotel 8.
Taxi to runway 12 via Whiskey 1, Whiskey 2, Gate Bravo, November 2, November 3, November 4, Hotel 8, Air Nostrum 1082. Before takeoff, check to the line.
Flight attendants, take your seat for departure, please. Cabin has been notified. Crossflow manual. Thrust reversers armed. Takeoff data set for runway 11. RNAV first fix identified. 14,000 feet pre-selected. Fuel confirmed. Takeoff config.
Air Nostrum
Set and check.
1082,
Check.
contact
Before
tower
takeoff,
on
check to line.
118.555. Take care.
Tower on 118.555. Air Nostrum 1082, take care.
Approaching. 1, 2.
Valencia Tower, Air Nostrum 1082, ready to go, runway 12.
Air Nostrum 1082, Valencia Tower, runway 12, winds 115 at 8, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 12, Air Nostrum 1082. Before takeoff, check below the line.
Anti-ice.
Set and check. Set and check.
Gas.
Set and check.
Checked. Before takeoff, check below the line. Complete.
Thanks.
Approaching. 1, 2.
Runway heading check. Runway heading check.
Check.
On runway. 1, 2.
Set thrust.
Thrust set. knots. V1, rotate. Pause brake. Gear up.
Air Nostrum 1082. Contact departure on 118.8.
Departure on 118.8, Air Nostrum 1082. Valencia departure, Air Nostrum 1082, passing flight level 27,000.
Air Nostrum 1082, Valencia departure, identified, climb via the sea.
Wilco, Air Nostrum 1082.
Air Nostrum 1082. Continue climb flight level 220.
Continue climb, flight level 220, Air Nostrum 1082. Flaps up. After takeoff check.
After takeoff check.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments we will start our meal service. You'll find a complete choice of food and beverage in the menu card which you receive during boarding. Please keep the aisle clear so we can serve you more efficiently. Allow for first safety and comfort during service. Thank you and enjoy our service.
I don't know what I'm missing, but the AP is unresponsive.
Queridos pasajeros, ahora se permite el uso de dispositivos electrónicos. Pueden encender sus teléfonos móviles y otros dispositivos. También me complace informarles que el servicio de Wi-Fi a bordo está disponible. Disfruten de su vuelo. Gracias.
Okay, so I have flown the CRJ-700, the CRJ900. This is my fourth flight
Queridos
since the
pasajeros,
update.
hemos alcanzado nuestra altitud de crucero y es un placer informarles que comenzaremos con el servicio de snacks y bebidas. Hoy tenemos unas deliciosas empanadas y una selección de refrescos que seguro les encantarán. Además, después del servicio, pasaré por el pasillo ofreciendo artículos de la tienda de Air Nostrum. Espero que disfruten de su vuelo. Gracias.
So as I was saying, this is my fourth flight since the big update, and for whatever reason, my autopilot is not engaging, and I am using the same procedures that I did for the CRJ900 and CRJ700. I'm flying a CRJ-1000, but I have no idea why the autopilot is not responding. I can do the whole flight manually. It's a very short flight, but that is really strange. So this will be some good practice to just fly manual. Again, I have no idea what happened.
Alright, cowls and wings are coming on.
Yeah, completely unresponsive autopilot. Really Strange, for sure. Flight director is on. Autopilot disconnector is not engaged. I don't know how to troubleshoot this one. So yeah, I'll stay on manual the whole flight.
Air Nostrum 1082. Expect the plus 3 Delta arrival. Anticipate descent in about 15 minutes. Reach out if you want an early start. Expect the ILS runway 32 right approach into Barajas.
Expect the Pratt 3 Delta arrival. Anticipate descent in about 15 minutes. Expect the ILS runway 32 right approaching to Barajas. Air Nostrum 1082. Are you ready for the approach brief? Are you ready for the approach brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're expecting Barajas runway 32 right, good weather. I'm gonna make it a visual approach despite the ILS instruction, and also since we have no autopilot, let's practice some hand flying as soon as we begin our descent here in a few minutes. As I said, good weather, dry runway. Any questions?
No questions.
Air Nostrum 1082, ready for descent.
Air Nostrum 1082. Cleared Prague 3 Delta arrival into Barajas. Whenever you'd like descend, flight level 120.
Copy, descending now to flight level 120. Air Nostrum 1082.
Air Nostrum 1082, descend flight level 080.
Descent flight level 080, Air Nostrum 1082. I'm really gonna laugh at myself if the fix to getting the autopilot to work is something extremely obvious, but again, based on my 700 and 900 flights, I've been following the same procedures, so I am not sure what could be causing the autopilot not to want to engage. No clue right now. I'm gonna have to figure out later. But again, doing this manual flying is actually fun, so no complaints. Descent check.
Pressurization set. Fuel checked. Altimeters.
Set and checked.
The cabin again in order to pick up any remaining glasses.
Set and checked.
as well as packaging.
1013, set
Of course,
right,
you may
landing
also
data,
give
set
us
4,
new
7,
staples
8,
and
7
magazines
pounds,
to which
thrust
to dissolve.
reversers.
In preparation for landing, please stow your hand luggage in the overhead compartments on the seat in front of you. Please
Armed.
switch off all electronic devices and
Set and
secure
check.
your hand luggage.
Seatbelt sign.
Please be careful while opening the overhead
Set and check.
handbags. Your luggage may have
Seatbelt and
issues
shoulder
during
harness.
flight.
Set and check.
Please check that
Checked
your
right.
seatbelt
Approach
securely
briefing.
fastened. Bring the
Completed.
buttons of the seat and tips
Descent
in
check.
first position. If you've booked
Thanks.
a connecting flight, please contact our ground staff or take a look at the information screen inside the terminal building. We will be landing shortly. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm gonna do one more autopilot test here. Disconnect, engage, engage, disconnect. Let's try the button. Let's try the flight director. Flight director off, flight director on. Autopilot engage, nothing. Okay. I am gonna search online to see why I was able to engage the autopilot on the CRJ900, on the CRJ700. And again, this is only my 4th flight since the update, but I am not doing anything differently. And this CRJ-1000 does not want to engage the autopilot. That said, I mentioned during my first few flights since the update that this airplane handles very well manually, and it does. I'm making very minimal corrections to this flight path that we're following into runway 32 right in Barajas. The airplane did trim itself and leveled off, but since we are, let me see, we are about 80 miles and 10,000 feet. We can stay at 10,000 for a little bit, but I'm gonna let the airplane do its own thing here. As long as it's just not a massive altitude change, I'll just let it slowly but surely make its way down. I wanna be at 5,000 when I line up for final. Trying to see if we have we should have a terrain radar. There it is. I'm just gonna keep weather on my side, terrain on his side.
Capitán, la cabina está lista. Queridos pasajeros,
Gracias,
estamos
Alejandro.
comenzando nuestra aproximación a Barajas. Por favor, apaguen sus dispositivos electrónicos y guárdenlos hasta que lleguemos a la puerta. Les pedimos que guarden sus mesas y coloquen sus asientos en posición vertical. Asegúrense de que sus cinturones de seguridad estén abrochados. El personal de Air Nostrum en tierra les proporcionará información sobre sus vuelos de conexión. Gracias. Gracias, capitán.
Air Nostrum 1082, contact Madrid approach on 118.4.
118.4 for Air Nostrum 1082. Madrid approach, buenas tardes, Air Nostrum 1012 passing flight level 6000.
Air Nostrum 1082, Madrid approach, identified. Bonanit Barajas QNH 1014.
QNH 1014, Air Nostrum 1082. This is also good practice to see if I can maintain 5000 with the current manual controls. So I'm going to just try to trim it and keep it more or less there. I mentioned that this plane is really good at hand flying compared to the previous releases. So it's a good chance to see how well we can trim it. I'm going to try to set 250 or below as well.
Terrain.
Nostrum 1082, proceed direct Yaiho. Cleared for the ILS runway 32 right approach. Speed below 200 knots until established.
Proceed direct Yahoo, clear for ILS approach 32 right, maintaining 2000 knots. Air Nostrum 1012.
Roger.
Air Nostrum 1082. Contact Barajas Tower on 118.08.
Tower on 118.08. Air Nostrum 1082. Good evening, Barajas Tower. Air Nostrum 1082 established. ILS runway 32 right.
Air Nostrum 1082, Barajas Tower. Continue approach. Runway 32 right.
Good call. Air Nostrum 1082.
Air Nostrum 1082, roger. Advise when ready to proceed with your alternate plan.
Air Nostrum 1082 established on runway 32 right. Continuing.
Air Nostrum 1082, winds 320 at 10. Runway 32 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 32 right, Air Nostrum 1082.
You're down. Before landing, check landing gear. Pressurization set. Fuel checked. Altimeters 1014. Set right. Landing data set 4773 pounds. Lights. Seatbelt sign. Seatbelt and shoulder harness. Checked right. Approach briefing. Descent check complete.
Tripulación, próximos a aterrizar.
3, 2, right.
Cabin crew, take seats for landing.
Stabilized.
400. 300. 300. 200. Sink rate. Sink rate. 100. 50. Flight 30.
knots.
Air Nostrum 1082. Welcome to Barajas. Contact ground on 121.908.
Going to ground on 121.908, Air Nostrum 1012. Buenas tardes.
Queridos pasajeros, hemos aterrizado en Barajas. Les agradecemos por volar con Air Nostrum en este vuelo 1082. En nombre del capitán Luis, la primera oficial Stephanie y toda la tripulación, les damos la bienvenida a Madrid. La hora local es las 8:30 de la tarde. Les recordamos que permanezcan sentados hasta que el avión esté completamente estacionado. Gracias. Ah, y un dato curioso sobre Madrid. Es la ciudad con más bares por persona en el mundo. Así que disfruten de su estancia. Gracias.
After landing check.
and gentlemen just landed at our destination. Please keep your seatbelt fastened until you've reached the final parking position and the fasten seatbelt signs above you switched off. Please open the overhead bins carefully to avoid luggage falling out, and also refrain from smoking until you've reached the designated smoking area in the terminal building. On behalf of the entire crew, would like to say goodbye to you now. It was a pleasure for us having you aboard today, and we hope to see you soon on one of our flights. Thank you once more. For you all the best, take care. Tschüss and bye-bye.
Okay, since we are in Madrid and we landed on 32 right, we have to go all the way to the K gates on the domestic and Schengen terminal, so which is the westernmost terminal in the airport. So that's why the taxi is so long. So the only mystery right now is why the autopilot never engaged. I'm gonna review my CRJ-700 and CRJ900 videos to see if I did anything differently to get the autopilot properly engaged in those cases. I am convinced I have not done anything differently today, but again, for whatever reason, the autopilot was just not engaging. It was a very short flight, so I was able to do it on manual. Good practice. Not the cleanest. I definitely need practice myself, but it got us to Madrid, and it was actually enjoyable to fly the airplane by hand. I do value practice, and I think I mention it often that sometimes we get so over-reliant on automation, but it was a nice chance to just enjoy the airplane. The airplane is handling very well manually, no issues there. Just have to figure out what happened to the auto flight. Something is definitely missing, and I'm just gonna have to figure it out. I might also just look online to see if anybody else is having the same issue. And I promise I'll retrace my steps on my other two flights to see what I did differently, if anything. And we should be approaching one of our CRJ gates here in Barajas. Let me see which one would work out. I think I'm gonna go to the other side. Also gonna let the CRJ pass. A little bit of overlap here with the traffic. Not sure. I don't think this airplane has any static models. I think this is the traffic did not park properly. We're gonna go to the last gate and get ourselves settled in there. Yeah, there's a lot more overlap here as well. I think I'm only running the Beyond ETC injection. I'm gonna double check that there are no other programs running. Before we park, I want to do one quick test. I am going to turn off the Beyond ETC traffic first. Next, I'm going to see if FS traffic is on. I really doubt it. I remember turning FS traffic off in Valencia. Remove Yeah, okay, oh no, FS traffic was on, okay, that was my bad. But this is also a good opportunity to test, say, intentions injection. So let me turn that on real quick. And we'll finish parking. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to check is since say intentions traffic is still in beta mode, there's a lot of whitetails, and you can see that CRJ should have Iberia regional colors, and it doesn't. So that's why I've been mainly relying on the beyond etc injection to just compile my FSLTL models and FS traffic models, and when that's what I used throughout the whole flight. But say intentions is still in beta mode, so I want to stress it's beta, so that there is no unjust criticism of say intentions. They're a little bit more behind than beyond etc is. So that's why you're gonna get a lot of whitetails. I'm gonna do a tour of the airport to see if there's how the rest of the injection looks like. I'm also gonna reset the position here. And let's see if it deboards. Okay, I see equipment is moving, but the gate's not moving, so I'm gonna just use the door. And we also went cold and dark. I thought my APU was okay, well, that's fine. My main focus was really to see why the autopilot never engaged. It's my, I think it's my fourth CRJ flight since the comprehensive update came out about a week ago, just over a week ago. I'm enjoying flying the airplane. Again, I only have an autopilot mystery to solve right now. I'm gonna try a few more flights later, but I'm gonna just continue to do kind of my Boeing 737, 777, and then the CRJ rotation for now, just to stay current on all three aircraft. And I'm still learning the CRJ, or relearning after 4 years of not using it. So let me see what the rest of the injection looks like. I want to just see how say Intentions is doing with the overall injection program.